So there's one thing I always promised myself, that if I ever built another van, it had to have a roof rack. So today we're doing just that. We're getting a roof rack built for the van. I've been on a mission the last few months to save my wrecked ex-Amazon delivery van. I can't believe that somebody's nicked the wing mirror. I've already gutted the whole thing and given it a new lease of life. We've got power in third gear, fourth gear! We got power, baby! It's had a fresh new look and feel on the outside. And well, the inside needed just as much work. Now we're not even close to being finished, but today might just be the biggest transformation yet. So here we go. I have driven 250 miles, 5.5 hours of driving to sleep in Dave in an Asda car park, because tomorrow and this week is one of the most exciting jobs that's going to be happening on this van. And the best thing about it, I'm not going to be doing anything. This week we are getting the custom bespoke roof rack built for Dave, which is something that I have wanted to happen for so bloody long. In the last video, me and Matt started to build out the interior. We've now got the bed in place. We've got the electrical cupboard where all of my electrics are going to go. So for the next few days, it's going to be very, very basic living. Literally no toilet, no water, no cooking facilities, nothing. The only thing I've actually brought with me, a duvet and some pillows, and my laptop and the jackery to, of course, power all of the lights and everything in here. The Asda car park, as you can see, is absolutely dead. Without further ado, I'll see you tomorrow morning where the roof rack build can begin. Building this roof rack, I knew I had to leave this one to the professionals, but I'm going to show you step by step exactly how it's done. And trust me, it's worth the wait. So this roof rack build starts, I'm sure, how every other roof rack build starts, with a long length of mild stainless steel. And handling it all is Dave, this guy right here, who lives and breathes metalwork. Trust me, this guy bloody loves it. To kick things off, first they shaped and bent a tube of steel to fit the rough shape of the van, until it looked like this, which was the starting point of the entire roof rack. Now I just had the luxury and pleasure of watching Dave and his family build this roof rack one step at a time, so I'm going to do my best to explain it as we go. They'd use these bending machines, which I don't know the name of, to bend the tubes of steel into the specific shape required. Once we had a few pieces made to size, these would then be connected and attached together with a pipe insert. To fix this into place, a hole would be drilled and then this would get tack welded into position. And then after, the two individual pieces could be connected and welded together, creating one solid piece. To tidy it all up and hide the welding joints, Dave used a belt sander to sand everything smooth. And honestly, you would never know that these joints were even there. The process was then just repeated for the other side, until we had a nice solid base for the roof rack. As a way of connecting our bottom base to our top base, Dave's wife cut these small little joining pieces. These could then get tack welded into place, and we could do a dry fit to make sure everything lined up correctly. Now this roof rack, of course, is absolutely nowhere near being finished, but you can now start to see and get a rough idea of exactly how it's going to look. We had to do multiple testing fits throughout this entire process of building the roof rack, because this roof rack is completely custom and bespoke to the van. So Dave is officially becoming a one-of-one Ford Transit camper. Now I forgot to film this, but like most roof racks, mine was going to be having a space for my solar panels to sit on top, but it was also going to be having some decking, which you'll see later in the video. So the guys welded in a bunch of these cross members to use as fixing points, but to also add some strength and rigidity to the whole thing.
Yeah, why not?
For me, no roof rack is complete without some sort of off-road lighting. And for my roof rack, we're going to be installing these 5-inch aux beam V Ultra spotlights, which are going to look bloody awesome. Now we were on to the last few stages of this roof rack build. And one of the hardest parts was designing and working out how to fix this roof rack to the van. Dave had designed these brackets that would attach and bolt down into the side guttering of the van, keeping everything rock solid to make sure this roof rack had no chance of ever moving. After we knew this design and concept was going to work, we just had to give the roof rack one final clean before the last stage of this entire build was complete.
Right, roof rack's going off for powder coating. Very big moment. Just hopefully it doesn't fly off.
With the roof rack being safely transported to the powder coaters, it went for some cosmetic treatment and surgery, and after a few hours came out looking better than ever. Which meant we were on to the final stage of installing this roof rack once and for all. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, with a new look and a new feel and the absolute beast of a roof rack finally installed and looking the absolute dog's bollocks. There is no doubt that this is the biggest transformation and one of the best days of this van build so far. To now have the van looking like this, the picture perfect van that I had in my head 3-4 months ago, to now actually have it in reality looking like that is just the absolute icing on the cake. Now what you won't have seen during the roof rack build was the side ladder, which was something that I've always wanted because I just think it adds a nice different dimension to the van and gives it more of that overlander look that I'm going for. And there is also a very good purpose for it, which you'll see in a minute. Now, Ford Transit vans specifically are not the easiest vans in the world to build a roof rack, and this one is completely custom, completely bespoke to the van. There's so many weird curvatures, so many weird shapes on Transit that make it a little bit different to other vans, but I think the guys at Pheonix Vanz have done the best job ever, and I have to give a massive thank you to them, because I was at their workshop for 3 or 4 days filming them, documenting the process, having a laugh, getting to know them, and for them to actually build something like that in such a short amount of time to such high quality, like, I just have to give the biggest thank you to them. There are a few things in hindsight that I wish I hadn't done before I had the roof rack installed. One of them is I wish I hadn't bloody installed the awning light, because now that looks off-centered to me, so I may end up moving the awning light slightly over to this side, because I just think that will look a little bit nicer. One little thing that Dave wanted to do was we wanted to add this plate on the side here, which I think really tidies it up nicely, because it just hides from the side angle the visibility through, and it just, yeah, gives it a nice little feature to it. Ignore these silver caps, because I am actually waiting for some black kind of nut caps to go on here, so once I put them on here, that will look the absolute dog's bollocks and tie it all in nicely together. The aux beam 5-inch LED spotlights, such a bloody cool feature, and they're not wired in or connected yet, so that will be a job in a future video. I did have the option to actually buy and install one single light bar across the top, which is what a lot of people do, to be fair, and that was the original idea that I had. However, I saw a picture online which Dave sent to me of the spotlights, and I actually think it looks even better with the spotlights. I could, if I wanted to, upgrade these to the 7-inch spotlights, which would be even bigger and chunkier, but actually the 5-inch actually look really good and leave a nice amount of space around the front. This roof rack hasn't just been built to make the van look as cool as it looks, but it's also been built for a purpose. So if I just go up to my side ladder, oh God, this is just the best thing ever. Oh God, I can now have access to the top of the van, and I'll show you in a minute. We have a full decking on the van, which means if I want to, I can sunbathe, I can chill on top like this, watch a beautiful sunset. I could put a spare wheel up here, I could put extra luggage, whatever I want. There is plenty of space up here to do that. So as you can see on top, we've got the decking, which is absolutely beautiful, and they've built it so well around kind of all of the things that I already had installed, like the MaxAir fan. The Wi-Fi was also already installed, so this is all custom, again, to what was pre-installed on the van. The solar panels are looking awesome back there. This is 250 watts of solar on top. A big question people are probably going to ask is, how much does it weigh? And to be honest, I don't know the exact weight, but considering 2 of us could hold it up by ourselves, it clearly doesn't weigh that much. Of course, anything like this, I'm sure it will impact the miles per gallon somewhat, but I couldn't give a monkey's. I'd happily sacrifice a few miles per gallon to have something that looks as cool as this does. Ah, this is what it's all about. Christ, all the moments of self-doubt and worry about if I'm ever going to get this van finished. Now to have it 90% done on the outside, I can't stop smiling. I'm like a bloody Cheshire cat. We still have a couple of jobs left to do, like actually connecting up these aux beam spotlights, which will happen over the next few weeks, which I'm really excited for. To actually have this wired in and have the spotlights working will be another big achievement. Oh my God, the whole bloody van moves. That is how strong this roof rack is. It is going absolutely nowhere, trust me. Because since I've had this installed, I've probably driven about 600 miles, and of course, it's not moved a bloody inch. Probably should go down the ladder backwards, but you know, I like to do things differently. Some people might be wondering, why did you have to put the brackets on the side of the van? Because with a lot of vehicles like the Crafters and Sprinters, you can actually bolt a roof rack into the top and to the roof of the van. However, with the Transit, you can't, because it doesn't have those kind of pre-installed bolt holes like other vans do. So we didn't really have too much option but to bring 3 brackets down and actually connect them into the side guttering. As I said, these will be covered in black, so that will tidy all of that up. And I actually am thinking to maybe somehow, if anybody can help with this, 3D print some kind of cover to go over these brackets, just to tidy it up a little bit. Now, I have paid for this. This is not free at all, and it did cost me a couple of £1,000s, but for me, it was money absolutely well spent. Dave did give me a cheeky little discount on it because, of course, I have done a video on it, but honestly, I cannot recommend him and his family and Pheonix Vanz enough. So if you are looking for a roof rack, please, please, please go and check them out. They're a small family-run business. They not only do roof racks, they do side ladders, they do rear wheel carriers, they even do side steps as well. So anything metalwork related. And I have spoken to Dave, and he said that if you go and mention that you've watched this video or you mention Will's whereabouts, then he'll give you a discount on anything featured on their website. If you're getting confused, by the way, about how many times I'm saying Dave, it's because Dave is the name of the van, but Dave is also the name of the guy that actually built the roof rack, and it's also the name of another Dave that's also done a bit of mechanical work on the van. So it really has just turned into absolute coincidence and faith that I named this van Dave in the first place, and it seems to have fit pretty perfectly. Now, I've driven this van for the first time over 600 miles, and now I know mechanically it is absolutely sound. After all of the mechanical work that we've done to it over the last few months, I have 95% full confidence that this van can take me literally anywhere. On my way back down south, I stopped off at Matt the carpenter's house because after living in the van for 3 days, 3 nights in that basic little setup, I realized we needed to make some adjustments to the inside. After spending some time living in the van exactly how you've just seen it, I realized something needed to change, and that was the bed. So with Matt's help, we decided to pull out the bed that we just installed the week earlier. Now, the new design to the bed was going to be a little bit wider to accommodate a bigger mattress. And we were also going to transform the single bed into a futon-style pull-out bed. Now we'd made the bed about 10 centimeters wider, we could work on the sliding mechanism and building the extension to turn this into a double bed. So Matt built an outer frame which would sit on the front face. Next, we could work on the actual sliding part, which was essentially one piece of ply cut into strips to enable them to slide in and out between each other. As always, it will all make sense in a minute. These slats could then be attached to the front-facing panel that we just made. And after a few hours, we had a very simple, basic, but practical, single sliding bed that turns into a double.
Moment of truth. I'm going to let you go. Oh! Look at that, that was so easy.
And that is plenty of room.
Yeah, for 2 people.
Yeah.
In a van this size, what do you expect? That was pretty smooth as well, the way that pulled out.
Here we have it. The single bed has now been extended to be a little bit wider because previously it lined up with the edge of the cupboard. But as I've said already, after a few days of living and sleeping in the van, I knew we needed to make it a little bit wider because the blow-up mattress that I had was even overhanging. So now this is a much, much better size for a single mattress. And of course, me and Matt have now upgraded this to also slide out into a double. And the nice thing is, at the moment, it can come out pretty damn far. You know, that is a decent size bed for 2 people, and it could actually come out even further. However, when we build the kitchen, that will obviously stop it coming the complete width that it is now. But the nice thing is this can kind of be adjusted depending on the width of the kitchen. A big thank you to Matt for helping with that, because on my way down from Accrington, it just made a lot of sense to stop off in Stafford to get that done. And now, believe it or not, there is still one more upgrade that I want to do to the outside of the van, which again I think is going to be an absolute game changer. And that is to finally upgrade these absolutely diabolical, disgusting wheels and tyres, because look at the absolute state of these. They are awful. Honestly, these are the original wheels that came with the van. The tyre tread is pretty much minimal, so I'm pretty sure that wouldn't even pass an MOT. And just all of these nuts and everything are just disgusting. And it's exactly the same on all 4 wheels. So now, after driving from Accrington to Stafford, we're now going to drive Dave to Reading to go and get the last upgrade on the outside, and the only place I know to get some absolute sexy beast all-terrain tyres and wheels. If you've not heard of Rogue Alloy, well, you must be living under a rock, because this place is my kind of heaven. This is the type of place you come to really turn all your dreams into reality. And that's why I'm here, to give Dave his final makeover. I just don't know what to say anymore, apart from I'm in love. I'm in love with Dave. Look at him. To think that this van 4 months ago, whatever it was, looked absolutely nothing like this. To now have a roof rack, to now have some all-terrain, badass, sexy wheels and tyres. Like, oh my God, I feel so grateful right now to see this van in this current state. These Rogue alloy wheels with these Davanti tyres are, of course, another absolute game changer. Just to be able to get rid of the horrendous looking original tyres and wheels on here, this has made such a huge difference. Like, I'm not really sure now that there's anything else that I want to do to this. I was considering a bull bar, however I've gone off that idea having realised that they're illegal. The only other thing that I might add is a snorkel, but let me know down in the comments. If you do want to pick up a set of your own Rogue alloys, which, I mean, come on, I highly recommend. It will be the biggest thing that you can get that will completely alter and transform the way your van looks. Now, they are a sarcastic bunch of twats at Rogue Alloy, and I quite like that, to be honest, because it's a very young company that are doing some amazing things. And to see how they've transformed from a few years ago when I first met Chris, the owner, to now turning it into the absolute biggest operation ever. Like, I have never seen in my life as many wheels and tyres and boxes laid out like a bloody maze. You've never seen anything like this in your life. I've never seen so many wheels at Rogue Alloys. If you're in the area of Reading, I highly recommend popping in, going and checking out what they've got in stock, and I'm pretty sure you'll end up leaving with a new set of wheels and alloys. If you use the discount code WW11, God knows why Chris has chosen that, because my OCD doesn't like that. Why not do 10%? But he's decided to give you guys 11% off. You can get an 11% discount on some alloys and some wheels, so make sure to go and check them out. I'll leave links down in the video description. So just to talk you through the new wheels and the new tyres, because I know I'm going to get a bunch of questions about this. These are the Davanti Terratura all-terrain tyres, which are 3 peak season approved, which means they're great on and off road, whether you're going in snow, ice, water, mud, whatever it is. They are going to make a huge difference to the amount of traction that you have when you're actually driving. Loads of people are probably going to be armed and ready in the comments to say, oh my God, Will, you've increased your miles per gallon and the road noise. Well, from my own experience, and I have experience, I have got the General Grabber 83s on my other van. For all the people that say your miles per gallon will increase, it won't. And also the road noise, you don't even notice it. Vans are very noisy vehicles to drive anyway, so you just turn up the bloody radio. But I can honestly promise you, you will not notice at all any increase in road noise from having tyres like this. And again, who cares even if you do, because they look that much cooler. I decided to go for the Rogue Alloy CC1s just because I really wanted that aggressive look, which is exactly what these are. They really do just complement absolutely everything on the van. And now the new tyres, the new wheels and the roof rack, it just brings everything together. The nice thing as well, I've got a spare wheel and tyre, which I now have the rather difficult but very luxury decision to decide. Do I put the spare wheel underneath where it would normally go on a Ford Transit, or do I put the spare wheel on top of the roof rack at the front? I'm thinking it might add a cool bit of a feature, again, giving it a bit more of that off-road look. However, practically wise, if you've ever got to change a wheel, taking one off the roof and down a ladder might be quite precarious. So I'm thinking with this idea, I might have to go for the safer option and put the spare wheel underneath the van. I also now need to get rid of these. And I mean, just look at the difference. This, a 16-inch tyre compared to the original Ford Transit 15-inch tyres, and of course the actual alloys as well. Just like, what a difference. I know this video has been a little bit all over the place, and I'll be honest, it's because I've been all over the place. I've been in Accrington for 4 days, and then as the car park, I've been down in Stafford for a couple of nights, where I finally got the first ever knock on the van by some weird bloke clearly wanting a... But you'll find out more on that in the next video. And then I drove all the way back down south to the workshop, and then of course to Rogue Alloy to get the wheels and alloys. So this video has been all over the place because I have been all over the place. However, without doubt, it is the biggest transformation and the biggest progress that has happened. And I'm over the moon to now see the exterior of the van 99.9% done. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give the video a like. Make sure to subscribe if you want to continue watching the van build series, because the next stage is electrics and to finish off the interior. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. I only brought 1 spoon and 1 fork with me on this trip. They are the only cooking utensils that I have.